Welcome to this week's video. I'm so excited that you're here. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm taking you behind the scenes to have a look at my content management hub. I'm going to explain everything to you and how I use it. And of course, we all have different ways of working. There are some really extensive Notion templates out there. And by the way, in case you didn't catch on to that, my content management hub is hosted in Notion. It is pretty simple and I like it that way. It gets things done, allows me to focus, and I have everything I need in one place. So, first things first, I have a calendar because I want to see which date I'm working on. And sure, I could use my calendar on my email, on my phone. I mean, I don't necessarily need this, but it doesn't hurt to have something that's also a little bit aesthetically pleasing to look at. Then I have a planning checklist. I'll walk you guys through that in a second. Then I have my content inventory hub, so a direct link to my website and to my content inventory database. My content inventory database is where I store all of my evergreen and long form content. So anytime I write a blog post, anytime I create a new product, it belongs in there as well. Any long form videos that have done well on YouTube, you can essentially decide what goes in your content inventory, but I like to have everything in one place. There are many times when, if I'm using, let's say, my content management hub for an Instagram post or a TikTok video, and it's an idea that's just like fresh, off my mind, it's not going to require me to use my content inventory because I just want to talk to my audience. That's fine. I still like to store everything. So every week, what I do is I sit down for about half an hour and I add any new content when needed to my inventory. Again, those will be things like blog posts, YouTube videos, even Instagram or TikTok videos that have done well. I would link it to my content inventory as well. Lead magnets, any products, offers, anything that has a URL that allows my potential buyers to move forward in the buyer's journey or to get to know more about me or to learn more about marketing and Pinterest is likely going to end up in my content inventory. Typically, the type of content I would not add in my content inventory is I don't do trends a whole lot, but if I did, let's say, a TikTok video that's a trend with a trending audio, I would not add that in my inventory. That's not evergreen. That's not something I can necessarily repurpose easily. I tend to repurpose my own content, so my own talking videos, my own blog post. If I've done, let's say, collaboration, so a podcast, or if I collaborated on a blog post or a LinkedIn post, let's say with someone else, I will link it in my inventory and I will label it as such. Then I also have keyword research help, so a direct link to Pinterest trends. A quick note that before using Pinterest trends, when it comes to Pinterest, I will use the keyword tool in the ads dashboard for Pinterest keyword research. However, I also like to do research and compare it to Pinterest trends as well. Or if I come up with a, pin idea that doesn't necessarily align with my typical content, I will have a look to see if there's any trending keywords related to that. Then I have a direct link to Key Search, TubeBuddy, and a reminder for Instagram and TikTok. I have had the most luck with Instagram and TikTok doing keyword research using the search bar. And what it looks like is when you enter a specific keyword in the search bar, it's going to make a guided suggestion. It's going to show you related searches, and that will depend on whether you are using Instagram or TikTok. And I have found that by using both, suggested searches or guided search results, it will yield good results when I create content and incorporate those keywords. And then what you're looking at now is my weekly planning. So for my clients, I tend to do monthly planning and I will just relabel what the cards look like. However, instead of looking at it from a calendar view for myself, I find it easier for me to look at it from a weekly view. And I also have my keyword hub where I store all of my keywords when I do keyword research. For example, Pinterest keywords, TikTok and Instagram keywords, YouTube keywords, blog content keywords. And a quick note that these are not the same keywords. I have two different columns for TikTok and then one column for Instagram. But if I show you guys quickly under Pinterest keywords, it's a very simple process. I just have Pinterest marketing related keywords, digital products, social media, and content. And I find what I need and use what I need. Now, if I bring up Monday card, and again, remember that I work on a week to week basis for my clients, I would change the view and I would not pick a particular date. If I was working on a month or let's say a week, I would just make note of it. And for example, instead of Monday content, I would put month of April, or, from April 1st to 15th if I'm doing 2 weeks at a time or whatever it may be. I choose whether it's draft, ready for scheduling or scheduled. And obviously right now I'm going to be working on a draft. And then if I scroll down here, what's really nice about this is there's a little reset button. If you click on it, it's going to remove the date, remove the status. It's also going to remove anything selected in here. So these are just custom icons. You can leave those blanks if you want, but they're just custom icons that I put there for aesthetic purposes. Inventory number is where I'm going to grab the number of the post from my content inventory. Copy, if different than the copy in my inventory, the copy is going to be different when I'm working on platforms other than Pinterest. So today I'm working on content for Pinterest, but when I am not, obviously I'm going to be changing the copy up because a pin description is by no means an optimized copy for Instagram or TikTok. It's not the same because Pinterest is a visual discovery engine. And yes, Instagram and TikTok are also both very much keyword fuel. And we do have to include keywords in the process of creating our content. It's just that we have different character limits as well. So we want to take advantage of the space that we're given on Instagram and TikTok. And to be honest, the type of copy that does well on Pinterest is very different than the one that will do well on Instagram or let's say on TikTok. And then I have content type. So I would choose whether it's thought leadership, personal stories, client stories, educational, polarizing opinion, sales content. Most of my Pinterest content will be either thought leadership, will be client stories, most likely if it's in a blog post, educational content and sales content, and then the other categories for my other platforms as well. So while it may look like this is a lot, by no means when I'm working on platforms other than Pinterest, I am never planning, let's say 10 TikTok videos for one day or 10 Instagram posts for one day. No, this is just, I wanted to make sure I add enough space for when I am working on my Pinterest content, because in most cases, I will end up, let's say, creating between 5 and 7 pins for one day. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab the inventory number. So my content inventory, I'm not going to take you through all of it, is really significant. So it just keeps going. And then I have created different variation titles as well for the purpose of Pinterest that all have different keywords. And I have the pin descriptions as well. I will change those up every now and again. It's so important on Pinterest to test different titles, different descriptions, so that you know which keywords are working better for you or not. And the other thing too is sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with the keyword. You could be using the same keyword in one pin in multiple pin titles or multiple pin descriptions. However, you never know which copy angle, which copy style will resonate and will help you get that save on your content. So I have a lot of sales related content scheduled for Pinterest right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go grab some blog post from my inventory. And let's see, I don't want to blog about threads right now because I'm updating that blog post. Definitely, I want to drive awareness about why Pinterest is good for more businesses. So my first post will be number 4. And what's nice about this is for Pinterest, I've already written my titles, I've already written my description. So I'm just making note of which post from my inventory I'm pulling so that I can go easily create my pin titles and my pin graphics, I should say, or videos, and then schedule them on Pinterest. And I'll show you guys what that looks like as well. What else? Yeah, definitely. This is a newer blog post. I want to drive more awareness to it. So we're going to do number 9. So when you create a content inventory for yourself, that can look so different. It could be labeled differently. Some of my clients, their content inventory, just for context, will have content type, content description. So it's not going to be like a specific title or, let's say, pin description. It's just going to be blog post about topic XYZ and then the link. And what we do is we have an idea, obviously, of what the blog post is about. We know that that's the one we want to schedule, and we will use the space above to create the copy. And if I'm working on Pinterest, in this box, I would add the pin title, the pin description, and the link, and then I'll be ready to copy and paste that when it comes time to scheduling on Pinterest. So it could look different for everyone, but because I like creating different variations of titles, different variations of descriptions, for me it looks like a big table with a lot of things. But honestly, the biggest step in this content creation process is always creating your inventory. And once you create your inventory once, it is so easy because once a week, let's say you've written a blog post or something else, then you can easily just add it to your inventory, and then it's there for you when you want to create your next batch of content. So I'm just going to do these 4 now to show you guys. The copy, I'm just going to grab it from the inventory. So now we're ready to open Canva, create pins, and schedule them. So now I have my Canva templates open, and I'm just going to go grab those 4 pins from, or content types from, my inventory and create pins for them based on the titles I've already created. So it's a lot of plug and play, just copy and paste once you build your inventory, but I'm not going to talk too much through that process, probably put a little bit of music on, and you guys can just kind of see how quickly it goes once you decide which content from your content inventory you want to use in Pinterest for that day or that week. takes me about 1 hour to create 1 week of Pinterest content, including brainstorming ideas from my other platforms. So, all in all, I spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours per week planning social media content. Some people prefer to do this once per month. They sit down and an afternoon or maybe, like a solid 6 hours or so would be enough, especially once you have a content inventory created. One of the reasons I highly recommend people having a content inventory to visualize in the same place where they create their content, regardless of if we're working on Pinterest or any other platform, is oftentimes people forget how much they have to work with. Every single thing that you create can be repurposed, can be reworked, or can inspire new content. A lot of my blog content, or a lot of my YouTube video content, or services, or even products inspire new blog posts, new products. So having this inventory is not just for content planning. It really allows you to put into perspective how much you have. And while I have this set up because Pinterest is such a big platform in my world, I have it set up for Pinterest. I still use this inventory for other content creation efforts. So my emails, I use this blog content, and I use my YouTube videos to inspire content I'm going to discuss on TikTok or on Instagram, and I plan it all here as well. So today was just a really quick demo so you could see how I go about it. The short version of it, how I go about it for Pinterest. And the beauty of it is, even if you wrote a bunch of copy here, you chose your platforms, the content type, blah, blah, blah. Once you hit reset, everything disappears. And what's nice about this is once you have your graphic or your video pins ready to go, your copy, especially for Pinterest, you're copy and pasting your titles and your descriptions into Pinterest. So you have your pin, in this case, it's a video pin. You choose your frame that you want as a cover. You add your title, your description, which you're going to copy and paste from your content management hub. You're going to add your tags, a link, alt text. You can publish it right now or schedule it for a later time. So the scheduling part of it, adding everything into Pinterest, really doesn't take a long time because I have everything laid out for me in my content inventory. So you'll notice I have some titles that are bolded in my inventory. So first things first, I redid my titles not long ago. What I do is, after a while, once I've used most of these to create and schedule my content, I will go ahead and use ChatGPT to help me brainstorm new titles, and I'll put the ChatGPT prompt that I use again in the description of this video. But you can also use Notion AI. I don't have the Notion AI plan, and I personally am really happy with the formula I use on ChatGPT. But you can also use a really, really, really quick tip is to grab any keywords that you have that you plan on using, look at your current titles, and you just rework them to include the new keyword. And the more you do this, the more you get used to it. So whether you use AI to help you brainstorm new titles and new descriptions based on the content that you have created, or whether you do this manually, it really becomes like a plug and play system. And you'll see if you have a look at the ChatGPT prompt, it's really simple. It goes along the lines of, this is my original blog title. Here are 4 new keywords I would like to use on Pinterest. Please give me 4 new variations of pin titles that I could use for this blog post. And the same concept as I showed in the beginning, once I've done everything in this list, once I'm done for the week, once I'm all scheduled, I reset. And then when I come back, everything is ready for me to start working. Same here, you can reset each of your individual days, or you can just click once new week. It's never going to get rid of your keywords in the keyword hub. The formula only resets your weekly planning. I know some people prefer a calendar view, but again, I prefer to work with cards for my clients. I'll modify this and I'll either do like April, May, June, or I'll do like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, depending on how I work with that particular client. And I'll plan, instead of day by day, I'll plan like week by week or month by month. It's really up to you guys. But this system or any other content management system, the heavy lifting is at the beginning. It's when you are adding everything in your inventory, and then when you start creating content and you notice how it's all plug and play. It's going to save you a lot of time updating of course, the titles, the descriptions, doing ongoing keyword research. That's just part of your regular workflow, but you're only going to have to gather everything, which is the biggest amount of content, between your blog post, your YouTube videos, other things you want to share once. And then as you create, you can choose to add it to your inventory, or you do it once a week, or whenever you decide that you want to dedicate time for this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Please let me know in the comments if you have any Pinterest questions. I'm working on content for the summer, and I would love to help you with your Pinterest questions. But I'm really grateful that you took time to watch this video and learn a little bit more about my process. See you guys next time.